Welcome back to Age of Strife, everybody. Players, what are you up to?
We'll listen to the song as I follow Stefan to the temple.
That's right.
Yeah, Luth is having some chills hearing this song again, and I guess for investigating something.
Okay, you make your way through the streets of town. Where's the streets of town? There's the streets of town. You make your way through them towards the main temple, which is just around the corner from you. And as you approach, you can hear it very clearly coming from the temple. Just a choir of voices kind of singing along. You get to the front steps and look in through the big door on the side. And there, kind of against one side, is a group of maybe 20 people, men and women, from maybe 15 years old at the youngest to what appears to be 60 years old at the oldest, with a priest leading the singing.
I'm going to approach the priest.
I'm going to stay behind Stefan and see how he does, and I'm listening on the melody, trying to memorize it for next time. I might go to the Shades Woods.
The priest notices you coming and continues conducting the music as he looks over and gives you a smile and a nod. Hi.
So he's talking while conducting?
He hasn't. Yeah, he just says hi, but then he keeps going and looking back at the music.
Father, please continue. But that song, it's haunting. What song is this you're conducting?
Bella Voice is its name. Or Bella Voce? Oh god, I don't know how to pronounce this.
Bella Voce?
Bella Voce?
Bella voce.
Bella Voce.
Here's where we get to see the research that Neil's done. I've never heard this song before. Please, I'm interested. What is its meaning? Where did it come from?
There's no meaning to the words. The words are a long lost language. It's just a wonderful tone, isn't it?
Yes, quite. Long lost language? Is it the religious language?
He shrugs. That's a standard song. Are you sure you haven't heard it before?
It does sound familiar, so maybe that's why it's playing to my heartstrings.
I think they've been singing this for years now, right? So
Maybe? I've certainly never heard of it until a couple days ago.
Father, there's no meaning to the lyrics.
He shrugs. Whatever meaning there might have been was lost, I guess. The song's been passed down just through the generations.
So there is no meaning, there's no ritual to this song, there is no purpose for it?
It's just choir practice. Is there a problem?
So this song is not used in religious ceremonies?
Oh, as much as any other hymn might be. Is there a problem? Has someone complained?
No, I just recognized the music and needed to know more about it. I am interested in things of beauty, of passion.
He smiles and continues to conduct the music.
Alright, I'll head out then.
I'll head out and Stefan, if they have no meaning to their song and they're singing it, do you think the choir and the people here, they put their own meaning to it? They must do by now.
I mean, I'm guessing they do it because of its beauty. It evokes emotion. For us, I think it would probably evoke a different emotion. Certainly for me.
Yeah.
But it's clear that they do not know what they are doing. But there's something more to this song for it to be. It's certainly a very old song, perhaps, which might say that force or whatever it was in the Shadewood is old. But I don't think we can
An
say
ancient temple. Well,
maybe we're close to the temple and walk right by it.
that's a possibility. Well,
We're
then,
having this discussion. Luther stays behind in the temple for a little bit.
The song finishes up, and they move on to the next piece.
Is there a shrine to Dorbath, god of knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, I go to that shrine and I do a prayer, and I say under my breath, Dorbath, guide me in this time of ignorance. And I stand up. Is there a collections box?
There is.
I'll drop 4 gold.
Oh my. Alright. The gold clinks in the box. And I think the party gathers up and heads out because you have places to be.
Oh yes. Before we do, probably at that exact moment, I have an idea, and head back to the. I'd say to sister. I'll just wait here for 5 minutes. I just need to have a quick word with the uncle. Wait here for Stephen. For Luther.
All right, where do you go?
I'm going to go back and speak to the uncle, and say, Uncle, just a quick moment before we do set out, since we've been gone for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
2 things. You said that the journals were written in, you thought, possibly Elvish.
The journals from the lighthouse?
Yes, I believe them to be the ramblings of a lonely woman who was trying to live her life by herself, even if she was evil. But
Quite right.
I'm more interested in that could be Elvish, because we're going to be heading, I'm guessing at some point as we go out and look for money, we will be drawn to the villages by the elves. Could you confirm, perhaps, obviously find another old timer who was around when Wadsworth still traded with the elves, and see if somebody remembers the language, and just confirm if that is indeed Elvish.
I will ask around, see what I can find out.
The other thing is we're not exactly sure where the abandoned village is. Your X marks the spot was not exactly entirely clear. And
well, I'm working off of old knowledge. This is the best I can do. I know it's in this region of the woods somewhere, but you'll have to hunt around to find its specific location.
I was going to ask you to do some hunting so that we spend less time in the domain of the elves. Obviously,
well, that's going to be a tough bit. You know, it's not like people leave exact directions to places. It was just described as the buttress of the forest.
However, if the village was abandoned during the war, it is conceivable that there are some still remaining alive who left when the village was abandoned, who would know more of its exact location.
Probably. They probably were resettled in the villages nearby. Could probably find a guide to the old abandoned village if one of those old-timers is still alive.
It is also possible that they actually came to Wadsworth, since the center of civilization, be that as it may.
You know how hard it would be to find one old peasant in all of Wadsworth? It cost quite a bit of money to send scouts around asking every person in town if they grew up there.
Well, you know that you're only looking for the old ones, and well, that is your job as a historian, is to mark down the histories. Perhaps you can just go around and speak to the old timers and hear the stories that they have, and say that you're recording it down for a book of the histories of post-war. I'm quite sure you can sort that out. You're a smart man.
And what do you expect them to say? What sort of directions do you expect I'm going to get from one of these people?
I don't
Walk
know,
in the woods, when you see the acorn, take a left and go 600 feet until you get to the red rock, and then take a right 1,000 feet. I mean, you know,
Again,
it's a few miles into a forest.
Yes, Uncle, you. I'm not a prophet. and certainly not anything similar to that. That is just do as I ask if you could, and if you can get a
Not
more.
some sort of global positioning service, you know. I can only
Um,
I can only help you out so far.
Yes, and if you could help us out in this, and just see if you can narrow it down a little bit, and get that a little bit closer. Perhaps show them a map and see if you can get it narrowed down. That is
Stefan,
what
always trying to pass the responsibility off onto someone else.
responsibility. I believe that's your. This was all your idea, and I'm quite sure that certainly finding out the stories of old timers and tracking down accuracy. There should be, or is certainly something which you have always esteemed. So, yeah, have a look into it for me. That is all.
He grumbles and waves you out of his study. All right.
You may even, for example, be able to find the names of someone for people who are still alive in those southern towns, and so then we could ask. And we can certainly do that ourselves as well. But I'm just trying to cover all bases here.
Right.
But yes, very good.
The family meets up and gets ready to head out of town. You guys are going to go south towards Lake Low Run, but first you're going to pass by Nixon, if I'm not mistaken. That's the plan.
We're heading to.
Rosebloom.
I think we're going to Dar Balloon, Rosebloom, then to Nixon. I think we're kind of.
So Dar Balloon is going to be somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Rose Bloom is going to be somewhere down here. Then you can head up to Nixon and then down to Lake Low Run.
Yeah, we're like touring the world.
Yeah.
I think Rosebloom.
We will
last
go to
time-
Rosebloom on the way back, right?
Hang on, no. Rosebloom was here, Neil. Is where you said it was last time.
Oh yeah, we are going to Rosebloom on the way back, aren't we?
Let's
Maybe we
double
should
check.
put markers down.
Unless we want to ask there about the zombies too.
Yeah, I guess Rose Bloom is roughly here-ish. And Dar Balloon is roughly here-ish. So it's, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And then potentially back to Rosebloom on the way back as well.
All these areas.
That's it.
All right.
Dogs, by right.
So you guys set off. It is early afternoon,
I am looking for poisonous animals, just by the way.
of course. The Meadowlands are fairly peaceful areas without many of them, so you probably won't see any. But off you guys go.
Snakes like plains, don't they?
Yeah, occasionally there are snakes in the plains. Absolutely.
Oh wow, that was well done.
Where is our... Okay. So you spend that day in travel. It is a rather uneventful day that passes quite pleasantly. You're beginning to feel the winter chill seep into the air. It's not quite winter yet, but it seems like it's approaching a little faster than you would like. There are stormy clouds off on the horizon, but no rain yet. There are birds chirping, and the sound of the saddlebags jingling on your donkeys as you make it to Dar Balloon first.
I turn and look and realize we haven't got our wagon with us today.
Nope. Your wagon is lost. It's gone.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
That cost like 50 gold too, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Something like that.
we can always go back there, and it will probably still be there, right? Unless there's anything which wants it. We did put it in the shade if we really want to go back there and pick it up.
We could get a war canoe for 50 gold.
Oh, war canoe. Alright, well, I'm going to be walking. I've got the shield and backpack on my donkey, so I'm not encumbered, even though, Luther walks around encumbered anyway.
Yeah. And this time there's no cart to sit in.
Oh, that's right. So are you moving at half speed?
I guess we are, yeah.
Okay,
Unless
so it's
you-
actually going to take you the entire day to get to Dar Balloon if you're moving
Unless
at
you
half
put
speed.
most of your stuff on the cart while you walk. And by cart, I mean on Doris.
Yeah, even if I'm just storing my chainmail, I'm already encumbered though.
Ah,
Well,
I
that's
might be able to get
2/3
down
instead of
to
1/2, right?
Yeah, I'll look at my stuff and see what I can do.
that's like worth another encounter now, right?
So it takes you the whole day to get to Dar Balloon. But you do arrive eventually on the end of Saturday, the 17th. Dar Balloon's the same little quiet village that it was before. Population roughly 500-ish. Run by Lord Kel Rugsbin Greendale. This is the place where all the silk houses are.
Him again. Okay, so I guess we have some memory of the house where Ronald lived.
Yeah.
It's the one with the broken fence.
Oh yeah. Oh Lord. I guess we'll stop by there.
Okay. You stop by as the sun is going down. You can see the smoke rising from the hearth inside. Ronald's mother is taking the laundry off the line as she sees the three of you walk up. And she gives a happy wave to you and folds some laundry in her arms and comes running over, giving you a curtsy as she arrives. Oh, my lords! How is Ronald doing?
Well, he's still out with Kel Reginald. Actually, he'll be back in town
Oh.
in a day or two, I believe. We just wanted to stop by to say hello and make sure that Kel Reginald did come by and pick him up.
Yes, he did.
Wonderful.
Not quite a week ago.
Yeah, it's about more like 5 days, I think, something like that.
Yes, I think that's the case.
Well,
He seems like such a strong and noble man. I'm glad Ronald will have a good role model.
yes, we're very glad too. Actually, it's quite nice to have a man like Kel Reginald leading our guard.
Isn't it?
Indeed. Well, I suppose since
Wouldn't you come in for supper? I know we don't. It must be a meager meal for you, but we'd be happy to. We'd be honored to have you at our
Have
table.
some tea if you have any.
Oh yes, we could quickly brew you up a cup of tea. There's already a pot on the boil.
Lovely. My brother does so love tea. What time of day did Reginald come by? Kel Reginald come by to pick up Ronald?
It was mid-afternoon, I believe.
Did he stay the night and set off the next morning, or did he expect to be to?
No, he picked up Ronald, said he wouldn't be needing any things, and headed south with him.
Ah, very good. All right.
Well, has your village been peaceful these few days? I know it's been quite a mess around the whole country.
No, not exactly. There have been a few days ago there were some riots when a grain cart tipped over. People mad dash to for everyone to scoop up as much grain as they could. A poor young lady was trampled to death.
Dear.
How have the crops been going, lady?
Not well. Most of the fields failed this autumn. We've been importing a lot of food, but it hasn't gone well.
Well,
We heard rumors before we left. This is one of the reasons we're down here. We heard rumors that there was a zombie in these parts.
Oh no, not here. That's southward, Rosebloom.
Yes, that's what we're hearing. We're just making sure that everything's okay here. No
No,
Zombie.
no zombies here. No. I wouldn't go any further south, though.
Oh, we're about to actually. We're
Oh my.
heading to Rosebloom to investigate. In fact, but
That Kel Reginald didn't take my Ronald down to the zombies, did he?
no.
No, he took it to the safety of Wadsworth, where we have a big, sturdy wall.
Oh,
Yes, he
good.
was just stopping at some of the villages along the way.
Is it true what they said about the giant tearing down the wall all the way around Wadsworth, that it's been laid naked?
Not the whole wall was torn down, just in a few spots. But
Oh
yes, there
my.
was a giant, and it did tear down part of the wall.
Well, do come in. I've got some nice black tea and some herbal infusions if you'd like it. I can get a cup around for all of you. You sure you won't stay for dinner? We've got potato stew with leeks.
That sounds.
It does sound quite appetizing.
I shall refuse. I believe that I shall call on the lord of the town, the knight of the town.
Yes, that is a good point. We did need to.
Well,
She
she brings you guys in, serves you all cups of tea or herbal infusion, whichever you prefer. Her husband is there, along with their other son. He's a little gruff. Of course, gives you the nicest seats in the house, but stays pretty quiet and is fairly standoffish. The other son is younger than Ronald and is looking at you with big eyes and a very shut mouth. Kind of hides behind his mother's skirt.
So what's this one's name? I'm gonna try and make eye contact with him.
Oh, this is little Scotty.
Is he gonna be Big Scotty one day like Ronald?
Oh, I don't think so. Ronald was already twice his height at this age.
Yeah, Ronald's very impressive. We're looking forward to seeing how he'll end up under the tutorage of the knight. Could I try your tea and your herbal infusions? I have to find the best sort of flavors in the land. Making
Sure. She makes you another cup of herbal infusion while you're drinking your tea. Your brothers finish up with their cups fairly quickly, and I think you're having a second one and talking about different types of these things. Eventually it starts to get kind of late, and it becomes very apparent that the family's ready to sit down for dinner, but they're just kind of waiting politely for you guys to finish your tea drinking.
Well, I think it's time that we make our leave. Thank you for your hospitality, good sir, ma'am.
She
Yes,
gives you a
we-
curtsy, her husband gives you a bow, and they see you off.
All right, brother. Shall we? Shall you make our presence known so we can have a good night's sleep? I think it's time to impose on the hospitality of the Greendales again. I must say, it does fill my heart with glee.
It may fill your heart with glee, but I don't quite like the green dolls. Not what I've seen of them anyway. I'd be just as happy staying out in the woods.
That is exactly why it fills my heart with glee. To know that they grate their teeth and grind their teeth at the thought of having to extend hospitality to us is, well, I don't know, it resonates with me.
Is there anything in particular you would like to do with the green dolls, or just, take up their hospitality once more and move on?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, unless it's anything that you want to go through, but yeah,
No.
apart from that, no.
It's all fairly standard. Yes, you can come in. Yes, you can have dinner. Here's your rooms. Here. Polite conversation. Still maybe a little awkward and tense.
yeah, Dad's still alive, by the way.
Glad to hear it.
I'm sure you are.
I'll probably bring up about the fact that once again of taking out the gang that was living in his village.
Mm-hmm.
I do thank you, by the way. I might not have made it without your hospitality that day.
Don't mention it.
All right. Apart from that, no, I think we head off the next day.
You guys head off the next day for Rose Bloom, which is not too far away. It's 7 miles, but you're going at half speed, so it takes you a quarter. It takes you like 4 hours to get there.
Sorry, Neil, is it half speed or 2/3 speed?
Half.
I can't figure out a way to get it down below.
I thought you had were just carrying the armor because your HP was initially so low.
I mean, I
I mean, now you got 13 HP. You could just take it off.
Certainly could. And it would help
Yeah,
my
yeah. You take it off, it saves, it takes like a minute or so, and it'll save us that much in hours. But then if you need to put it on in a hurry, you just can't.
Yeah, the worry is getting ambushed. And
Well, I mean, are you at movement speed 6 with the armor and that, or are you just movement speed 9?
movement speed 6.
Wow.
I've,
You skipped arm days, didn't you?
I guess so. As always, I'm struggling under the weight of my armor and all the silly stuff I have, like my 50 feet of rope and a grappling hook for some reason. And,
Yeah, it's interesting that D&D doesn't have the concept of getting conditioned for that, but
I guess I'm too old for that.
Yeah, you have a set strength, and that's that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, you guys make it on to Rose Bloom before noon the next day, or around noon the next day, I guess. It's much the same. Well, I guess you haven't really been here before. Last time you skirted around the edge. This time you actually come into the town proper. It's a small little village. Actually, no, it's a rather large village, population roughly 700. You see the vineyards kind of rolling across the very gentle hillside. Yeah, it's a big winery place.
Is there anybody standing around and outside?
Yeah, there are peasants all over the place, tending to grapes, moving carts around, making barrels, making candles.
I guess Luther will stop by someone who seems like he knows what he's talking about, I guess. Basically not a kid.
Sure.
And he'll ask about the zombie. He'll say, "Oh, we heard there was a zombie down in these parts. We're here to investigate, I suppose."
Man nods and goes, "Yeah, a week ago or so, woke up in the nights to some screams, and well, there they were, the Walking Dead, just
Out of nowhere?
out of nowhere."
Quite strange. Was there more than one zombie?
There are 3 of them.
Have you gotten them all?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, my lord. Some knights rode in. I suppose the screams woke them up too, and they put the foul creatures to the sword. Looks like they escaped from one of the mausoleums out in the graveyard. We found the gate open, the lock undone. Probably some sort of foul elven witchcraft, if you ask me.
Foul elven. Did the monsters open the gate?
Well, how else do you get past the locked door if not, especially if you're not even alive? It's got to be some sort of elven witchcraft.
Yeah.
Perhaps one of your neighbors has been practicing witchcraft in secret.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Well, who else could it be?
Who knows?
Well,
These undead creatures, they...
a product of witchcraft. Remember?
I can't pretend to know how these sorts of things work, my lord. I know no good working human would ever dabble in the dark arts like that.
Exactly right. If anyone did know, then they should be put to the stake and burnt.
So the
Burn and cleanse it with fire.
they escaped the crypt.
Yes, my
And
lord.
why were there how's that? I suppose the people who were buried there just became monsters somehow? I don't understand how.
Look,
very strange.
I don't think anyone's going to know. I don't think this good man would know the workings of
No,
witchcraft and how it works.
I'm just speculating, I suppose. I'm just wondering if there's anything we can do to help.
Well, I think Lady Wyatt has things mostly under control.
That's
Not
good to
too
hear.
sure how she would feel about foreigners coming in and taking over things. No offense intended, my lords.
I see what you mean. Well,
No, you are wise beyond your years. Good man.
indeed. Well,
All the
We shall
idiots.
continue on before we go offering to reap your fields.
yes, I suppose we'll be off.
Very well, my lords. Good day to you.
Good day.
So,
Brother, once again, you need to not just open your mouth and let everything come out at once. Use some of that intelligence.
I
That's a peasant.
Is
You
there a
don't
problem?
ask a peasant for help. You don't express an interest in magic to the point that you raise suspicions. Do you not understand these
in
things?
magic. I was simply
No, you don't express. No, you don't do that. Do you not have any tact?
people like me because I try to help them. That's what
Yes,
I was
absolutely. But there was no. Was that person asking you for help? No. If we were going to offer
showing my
assistance,
concern for the situation.
yes, that
I
peasant
was not
owns.
asking, hey, do you think I could learn some magic in there? No, I was just asking
Yes,
what exactly
but
happened. It's quite
expressing
strange.
an interest in something which is evil and nasty is just the same as asking to learn it.
No,
Certainly-
it isn't at all.
Certainly to
Expressing interest
uneducated
in
peasant.
that, hoping to understand it, is simply a security measure.
Why don't we just go ask everybody in this village and see what the information they have about magic?
But
That is
it
what I
sounds like
suggest.
quite a good idea, actually.
Stefan, we know the most about magic. We have seen it already. We know more
Exactly
than
right.
everyone here.
Yep. And we know it's evil, we know it blinds, we know it curses, we know it raises mountains, we know it deforms people, we know it corrupts. And now you're just going out and you will have us being accused of witchcraft and burnt yourself if you keep on going like this.
I don't see how that is possible.
Let me tell you how that's possible. So you go in there asking, showing an interest in magic, a subject matter of which raises you up your eyes and means you'll be remembered. Then from there, you'll be taken further, and the rumor mongers of uneducated people will go through, and the tale will be told until you are the actually one that raised that mausoleum.
I will
Surely,
be
some-
remembered as the one noble who cared about these peasants and their problems.
nobody cares about peasants, besides lip service. And no, you'll just be burnt at the stake.
I fail to see how inquiring about this crypt has anything to do with having interest in magic. I simply wished to understand what happened so I could help out in the best way I can.
We know what happened. We were there. You were asking how they could possibly have been raised, the mechanics of how it happened. That is not just asking about the crypt.
It's a natural question. I'm
Yes,
sure
but-
all of these peasants are asking that.
No, they're not. They want to go back to their lives and not think about the evils of magic and witchcraft. The only thing they're going to be doing is working out who has caused the witchcraft to occur. Who is the sorcerer in the village?
Clearly, there isn't a sorcerer in the village. Clearly, they broke out on their own.
Also, asking the peasant to help, what domain does the peasant have? The person to ask if they need assistance is the Lady Wyatt. And I'm quite sure that she is not going to want our assistance unless she requests it.
I guarantee you that peasant is a much more worthy person of assistance than Lady Wyatt. These nobles, they care not for anything but money.
And when you offered to the peasant, did they take up your offer of your noble offer of assistance?
Unfortunately, no.
No. Why do you think that might be, brother?
Because I suppose the Wyatts have it under control for once. If there were zombies roaming the countryside, I guarantee you they would have asked for our assistance.
That is correct. It is the noble's responsibility to look after their peasants, their serfs. You
They're doing quite a good job of that in Wadsworth, not rebuilding the wall.
We can assist by helping out other nobles. We can assist by looking after the issues, but we do not go asking peasants. And what are we going to get from them as a reward? A copper? A cup of tea? Some
Hold on,
stew?
Stefan. This place makes wine.
This is true.
It is, yeah.
Reputation.
Perhaps we can go find the owners. Oh, hang on. The owners of the vineyards are the Wyatt family, ultimately.
Yes.
So therefore, we should still go to the Wyatt family if we're going to be expressing an interest to assist. Again, though, there are the politics behind the asking to assist. Perhaps, brother, you should just keep things in reserve, is all I'm saying, and use some wisdom as to the outcomes of your desire to help.
Well, how about I do things my way and you do things your way?
No, because you are the head, you are the representative
I'm sorry,
of this
I don't
house.
think this is up for debate.
You don't think it's up for debate?
No, it isn't. I believe I have free will. I'm the elder here. I believe I can do as I please.
Yeah, you absolutely can. That is your right. I would also hope that you would have the wisdom to listen to the advice and suggestions of others, especially when reality would also give you that slap in the face lesson as well.
Well, I will consider your advice.
Very good. Now let's continue on, and please, for the love of Rowena, don't go and tell the Wyatts that you're interested in learning magic, or that you want to know how this occurred. Please don't do that.
I'm sure the Wyatts are just as interested in how it occurred as I am.
No, they are not interested. Magic is wrong. Magic is evil. You are the only person.
It is not an
in the
interest in
whole
magic that gives
world-
them interest in these affairs. It is an interest in protecting their land.
Yes, which is just killing the threats as they come up and ignoring it when it doesn't. That is clear. And look at the walls in Wadsworth, as you
Wyatts
pointed
are
out.
so naive to just react to threats as they appear. I wonder how they came this far.
Brother, what you need to recognize is that you have an amazing intellect, and so you do want to look into these things. You do ask these questions. Most of us do not. So that is your lot in life. But do not expect others to be as you.
I suppose you may be right there. Maybe I shouldn't.
I like asking the questions as well, but I don't particularly care for the answers, if you know what I mean. As long as someone has the answer, I'm okay with it.
All I'm saying, brother, is if you want to do this search, and it's a full search in any case, but if you do want to do that, perhaps be a little bit more circumspect in how you ask your questions. Would you please do that for the well-being of the house, which I know you care for?
I do, and I will attempt, as I always do, to act in our best interest.
All right, I've given you new information about what that would look like. So please, consider, meditate on my words. Now, should we go visit the Wyatts, or shall we just wait until to see if they've now posted the guard around the mausoleum? What would
Yes,
you
I
advise?
suppose we could just stroll by the cemetery, just make sure everything's in order. And I say a little bit quietly under my breath, do you think they would have relocked the crypt? If
Yes.
the door is still open, that's quite easy for us, isn't it?
Well, you got in last time when it was locked, but let's just see.
Oh,
It's a bit like the walls. Even though the walls are being knocked down, and we know they can be knocked down any time, your first thought is that why aren't we rebuilding the walls? Now, that should be obvious to you why we aren't building walls. But regardless,
I suppose you are right, considering the locks weren't destroyed or anything.
it is the perception of security that people look for.
Yes. Well, let's stroll by and then head east to Nixon, I suppose. When we get to Nixon,
Okay.
well, before we get to Nixon, we need to be very careful in the area.
Yes, indeed.
I'm
Okay.
not sure that today is the day to be acting like our father and looting the place. Maybe it's just time to have a look and see what's there.
Yeah, I'll go to Nixon. I'll ask the peasants if they need any help.
You're gonna go ask
Just
the
as
peasants
father
in Nixon if they need any help?
Ask the mutants.
You know, just so, as my older brother would do. No. I know there aren't any peasants in Nixon. Stefan, the Wyatts own this village. This village seems to be doing okay.
Yes, that's because they have a resource which most villagers do not have, which is wine. No matter how shitty the town gets, in fact, the more shitty it gets, the more need there is for wine.
So, I think I'll go get a bottle.
Very good. I would not be uninterested in that.
Certainly don't think that's necessary, but
It's not
if
necessary.
you insist.
But, since we're visiting that lake, and we're gonna have to just watch a lake for a monster to come out, since that's what we're doing. That's my plan. Just well, anyway, 2 bottles. I'm bringing one back for our father.
Sure.
One of the good ones.
You can go purchase a couple bottles of wine. We'll just say it's part of your monthly expenses because it's not something extraordinary.
Okay.
And you end up with a couple of bottles of wine. I think each one weighs, 3 pounds? So mark it down.
Please do not drink so much that it would impair your vision.
Doesn't she have free will? Can't she make her own decisions?
Yes,
Alright, so where are you guys going? Clearly you're bickering. You will bicker all the way to wherever it is that you're going, but let's keep the story rolling.
all the way to Nixon.
You guys aren't going to the mausoleum today.
I think we're just gonna pass by the cemetery on the way out of town.
You pass by
have
the
a look.
cemetery and head out towards Nixon. The cemetery is fairly large. It's got that waist-high wall, which doesn't impede you in any way.
Does
You
it look
can
like there's anyone in there?
Yes, it does look like there is a small funeral being prepared. But you guys move on out towards Nixon, which is going to take you more or less the rest of the day to get there, because you're moving at half rate. And eventually you arrive. You kind of see the town off in the distance. It's a bunch of fallen over stone buildings. You get a little bit closer, and a little bit closer, you see that there's still plenty of buildings that are still standing. Many of them have fallen, but not all. And it's kind of hauntingly quiet around here, you know? It's more or less just a ghost town on the edge of a river. From your vantage point, maybe a half mile out of the town, you don't see anything unusual. Just all these older rickety buildings that haven't been tended to. You know, there's grass growing on the roofs, trees growing out windows, that sort of thing.
Well, it seems quite quiet right now, but I assume all the father did say that they like to hang out in the buildings. I assume that's where all the mutants are.
Yeah.
No, using that for the strategic, but it makes sense that they would still need to seek shelter. Neil, how does it compare to Wadsworth in size from our perception?
Probably about the same size.
About the same size and sort of the same construction, so the same feeling of the town?
Yeah, roughly.
Yep, okay, cool.
Well, what do you think we do here? Do we investigate, head in a bit, or?
I think
I don't know how we could cross the river, so I think that's out of the question. But
Is there a bridge?
that would be too far.
is there a bit?
It must be broken by now.
You can't see a bridge from where you're positioned. You'd have to venture into this side of the city to see if there's a bridge to the other side.
Well, father did say the west side of the city is quite peaceful. You think we can head in and look for a bridge just for future information?
Yeah, of course. If he went exploring, he must have ventured to the other side.
Yes.
Yes, so it's clear that's where the wealth is. Perhaps we should find a suitable house to camp for the night, as it's getting a little bit night.
I don't know if I like the idea of camping so near these mutants. Well, let's head in and look for a bridge and see what happens. See what we do then.
Hey, follow me. So I hold my shield up and walk through the town, keeping my. I'm gonna, walk around each alley as I walk down the street.
Can I stay a little bit more quiet? I thought if we do plan on leaving once we investigate a bit, would it be wise to blow our horn and see if any mutants come out of the buildings on the other side?
No.
No? It does seem a bit risky, I agree. Well, okay. Let's look for a bridge.
Wouldn't be wise, but if we're far enough away and we can run.
Well, what do we gain? What do we gain from this? We know what they look like. We know what they do. We know that they're there. Blowing the
About
horn.
running. I don't know if I have the speed to escape.
Oh right. Oh yeah. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can't quite keep up with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
considering that, I think maybe
Don't blow your horn to monsters.
yes.
Besides, remember that the horn blows itself.
You guys pick your way through the outer part of the town. It seems completely desolate. You poke your head in through a few windows and there's nothing going on in there. What wooden furniture was once here is kind of lying around either in splinters, or some of it is actually growing new things. Others are just gone, completely abandoned houses. There's signs of fire damage in some regions, but most of these buildings are stone, so it doesn't look like the fire has spread very far, ever. Wadsworth is mostly wood with some stone buildings. It appears Nixon is entirely stone, or at least what's standing is all stone. Nixon's also an older town than Wadsworth. It was built well before Wadsworth was. You make your way through the first part of the town until you reach the stream, and sure enough, there is a single stone bridge that spans the river. There are a few other sections where clearly bridges once stood, but they have since collapsed and fallen over. Maybe it was intentional,
is this
maybe not.
bridge we see? Is it like 3 people wide, like Wadsworth's bridges?
Yes, it's about the same size as a Wadsworth Bridge, just wide enough for 2 wagons to barely pass each other, going opposite directions.
So there's the bridge.
Well,
Yes. I think if we do ever come to Nixon, I don't think we'll be crossing that bridge together. I think we'll be coming from the north.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge another day.
Sometimes you're wit, sister.
Are you guys gonna camp in town for the night?
What time is it? Is it getting dark, Neil?
It is. The sun is going down.
Yeah,
considering
it's,
there's a bridge here, I think it's best if we move away from town before camping.
We can find a building on the outskirts if you like, further away from the monsters.
yeah. I think that. I mean, we do know this is fairly safe.
As long as we have someone on watch.
I suppose.
I'd say no fires tonight, but it'd be nice to have a roof over my head.
Well, fair enough.
And if we can maybe set up, there's plenty of refuse around, so if we can set up some tree branches, and perhaps we can set up a bit of a barricade to prevent any incursions in the night.
I don't know if a few tree branches will stop them, but well, let's find a place.
Okay,
I'm quite sure Max and Billy will be able to work it out.
You guys find a still standing building as far away from the river as possible. Make yourselves at home for the night. And what is your order of watch?
I believe I take the last watch.
I'll take first.
Leaves Luther in the middle. Can I get perception checks from everybody in the party, please?
There we go.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Why don't we go to break, and we'll see what happens in the night on the other side. Bye-bye, everyone.